Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today is a follow-up video of the Toronto Bonsai Society's fall show and sale. I was videoing all the trees at the show, and when I came to the Suiseki display, the viewing stones, they were away being photographed for the show album. So I meant to come back and video the stones, but it slipped my mind and it was a busy day, and I never did get back to videoing the stones. So my apologies to Jeff, who has set up the display. It looked fantastic. So Jay was the event photographer at the show. He shot all the guests and all the events, and he was busy for the entire 3 days. He's letting me borrow his photographs so I can show you what the stones look like. So here is a look at the viewing stones. I really had fun during the 3 days of the show. I met lots of really cool people, and I did get some gifts from the show, so I'll show you those now. Nathan from Washington State visited me here at home and checked out all my trees and backyard, and he left me this present. They're leaf pruners, and they have ceramic tips on them, and they're extremely sharp. You have to be really careful. If you put your finger over them, they're so sharp that they'll cut your skin really easily. So these are leaf pruners. When you're defoliating a tree, you just snip the leaves off of these, and it's a lightweight tool so your hand doesn't get tired, because some trees have like 1,000 leaves on them. So thanks very much, Nathan. The next gift I received is from Go Bonsai, and it is a pair of shears. So here's Go Bonsai, Richard Bernier, and you can go to gobonsai.ca@gmail.com is his email address, and he's on Facebook, so there's the information for Go Bonsai. And what did he get me? Well, he got me from, let's see if I can say this right, Tanabe Code Limited. From Japan, and these are pruning shears. Our scissors are made from high quality carbon steel. Please store them after you wipe much. Rinse something onto scissors for protecting them from rust. Yeah, so these are very high quality shears. It's probably the best tool I have. So thank you very much, Go Bonsai. And these are forged. You can see the forging marks on the scissors here. Yeah, these are really, really nice shears. I can't wait to use them. I think they'll be fantastic. Really solid feeling too. Little brass washer in there. Yeah, just absolutely wonderful. And there's the maker stamped in the tool there. So these I will have to take very, very good care of. In fact, I'm going to put them back in the plastic bag here to protect them. And I will have to wipe them down after each use so they don't go rusty. So thank you very much, Richard from Go Bonsai. What a wonderful gift. People are so nice to me. Thank you very much. I also got a gift from Tropical Bonsai Inc. So that was from Johnny. So thanks very much, Johnny. And you can check out their website. It is www.thetropicalbonsai.com. All one word, thetropicalbonsai.com. So they are in Concord, Ontario. Yeah, so thank you very much. Johnny also gave me that water jasmine, and unfortunately that tree didn't make it, and the reason is I was away and I came home in the evening and we had a real cold spell, And I rushed out to the greenhouse, opened the door, checked the temperature, and it was 9 degrees Celsius in the greenhouse. So I turned all the heat on. I brought the tree inside to warm it up, and it did not make it. It just died that night from cold. So I'm being very, very careful with this tree to keep it nice and warm. When I first got this tree on the Friday, when Johnny gave it to me, it had no leaves on it at all. He had defoliated, and he said it should flower now. And so I can see all the flower buds forming on it, and all these leaves have grown in since the bonsai show. So quite exciting to develop this tree into the future. So thanks very much, Johnny, and check out the Tropical Bonsai Inc. Online. They have absolutely fantastic trees. All these trees are imported from Vietnam, and they have any price range from like $100 right up to $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 trees. You'll see some absolutely spectacular trees. If you haven't watched the Toronto Bonsai Society video, a spoiler, I won Best Tropical of the show with my Serissa here. And so beside the show area, there's this little kitchen area where we put our food. Anything we bought, we store in that area. And so we're all in there talking, and no one was allowed in the bonsai show area while the judges were walking around making their decisions. So I was in there talking away to someone, and Mike came in and he said, Nigel, you should go out and look at your tree. There's something on it. And I went, oh, what? And I go up there, and there's this yellow ribbon on it, and I was like, oh, wow. I didn't expect it. It was, I've never won anything to do with bonsai in my life, so it was kind of nice to get an award, I guess. It, you know, you put all those years of hard work into developing a tree, and to get an award for your tree, well, that's just icing on the cake. So I think it's important to go back when I first started the channel, and you'll see what this tree looked like 11 years ago. And if you see the pictures of it, you'll go, that's it. It's like just a stick in a pot with a few branches. You know, anyone could buy a Serissa like that. And so over the last 11 years, it's developed and developed and developed. And it eventually became a really nice show tree. So it developed quite quickly in those 11 years. So I'm wondering, you know, 11 years from now, what this tree is going to look like. So I have to think about, you know, where I'm going to take this tree. Am I going to grow it taller, wider, larger, prune it, hard prune it back, make it smaller? These are all things you have to think about when you're developing a tree. Like, what's the next step? What's the goal 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? What do you imagine this tree to look like? So you can't stop a tree growing. Even if you keep the height exactly the same, the trunk's going to still continue to grow a bit each year. The branches are going to thicken each year. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to follow this tree over the next 11 years and see it go from this tree into something else. I'll show you a quick picture of what it looked like 11 years ago. And here it is today. So it's quite a change. So while I was at the show, the weather has slowly been changing. We've had 3 or 4 good hard frosts, but no temperatures below freezing. So we've always had like 1 degree at night, 2 degrees at night. There might have even been one night where it got close to 0, but nothing below 0. But tonight is the first night where we're going down 1 degree below freezing. So everything outside in the benches will be frozen. All the pots will be hard. Yeah, it's the first kind of cold night. So I've been busy over the last few days arranging trees. I take them out in the daytime, bring them back into the greenhouse here at night. It's been a lot of moving, running around. So I'll show you where the trees are and why they are where they are. In the poly house, I had pretty well all my succulents in here. So I would keep them out of the rain, and it was quite a nice environment for them.
So you can see it's pretty well empty in here. The only plants I have left, and I have to move them tonight, is my aloe growing in the Mars soil. So I've got to bring that in because it'll freeze tonight. And over here I have one of my jades, the one with the kind of narrow leaves, the thin narrow leaves. And this one, for some reason the trunk went soft on it. I may have overwatered it, or maybe got too much humidity, I don't know. So the only thing I can do with this plant is cut it off and reroot the top of it as a cutting, so I'll have to do that. So I'll take those two trees indoors tonight, and that will leave the poly house totally empty so it can freeze over without any worries. Behind the poly house here I have my back benches, and I've moved all the tropicals are gone from here. So everything left here can take freezing, at least, you know, a fairly light freezing. Some of them are a little more tender. So once the temperatures get a little cooler, things like this privet will have to come in, the Chinese elm, my black pine, a few of the maples maybe. Yeah, there's the trident maple here, my oaks. Yeah, there's a few trees out here that aren't, you know, super hardy, so they can stay out till it gets to about -5, -10 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there. And then they'll have to either go, well, I think those ones will have to go in the greenhouse, and then the really hardy ones, most of those will go in the poly house for the winter. But the hardy trees don't have to come inside until probably the end of December. Not until the temperatures start getting below kind of -15 degrees Celsius, then they kind of need a bit of protection. But they're pretty cold hardy, especially these eastern white cedars and larches. The benches around the greenhouse here, again, all the tropicals are in. I have a few tropicals here that I bring in at night. So the ponytail palm, the asparagus fern. Yeah, there's a few that I just move straight into the floor of the greenhouse here for nighttime. And then when it warms up in the daytime, they go back outside. It's a bit of a shuffle. So when I have all the trees in here at nighttime, my floor is completely blocked off, so I can't go in the greenhouse at all. So I clear it out to make videos, and eventually, you know, they'll all go inside. But, you know, it's going to warm up next week. We've got some highs of like 21 degrees Celsius in the middle of the day. But the lows at night are still fairly cool, around 10 degrees Celsius. So definitely warmer than this week, but eventually everything tropical will have to go indoors. Last night it went down to 1 degree above freezing, and in the greenhouse here with the heat on, it got to 10 degrees Celsius. It got down to 10 degrees Celsius, so that's about as warm as I can keep the greenhouse. So when it starts getting below freezing outside, I can't keep the greenhouse warm enough to keep all my tropicals in here, so they all get moved indoors eventually. And in their place goes all the more tender hardy trees. So this will be filled up once again. And I'm hoping I get time, you know, when the greenhouse is empty, to clean all the glass once again. I do that about once a year, just to keep it really looking good. Here's a look in the basement. So I have all my temperate trees down here for the winter. My jades, my citrus trees, acacias. Yeah, anything that needs a cool period for the winter, but not too cold. And here is a look in the plant room. So I've moved my baobab trees in the corner there. I've got a flower on my powder puff down there, looking really fancy. Yeah, so a lot of the pure tropical trees are up here already, ones that can't go much below 12 degrees Celsius. So it's filling up fast. I've got a hibiscus flower out today too. Yeah, so I've still got to do a bit of rearranging. I still have lots of shelf space back here. I've got all my stands stored away up top. So yeah, lots of work in the next few days, moving, pruning, and arranging trees to put them away for the winter.
I also want to thank all the volunteers at the Toronto Bonsai Society show. When you're exhibiting a tree, you know, you're worrying about getting your tree on the stand and making it look good, and all the volunteers in the background are just making the show run smooth and helping you out, and it's fantastic. So thanks very much to all the volunteers. So that is my follow-up video of the Toronto Bonsai Society's 2024 Fall Show and Sale. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.